Christmas, little fella?
It's Santa Claus and his elf.
We're not gonna hurt you.
No, got some nice presents for you.
Hey guys! It's Gabriel here! Wow!
Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We gotta make fun of Paul Gabriel here because he just did something so ridiculous and so YouTube-y that I had to react to it. And yes, I have so much more time now. I finished most of my stuff. So let's go check out Paul Gabriel and see what he did. My favorite value investing hero that shorts NVIDIA. So Paul Gabriel, Mr. My Wife's Kids, we're not even going to get into that, is buying SCHD ETF for the dividend. That's right. Mr. High IQ, stock-picking billionaire, apparently, supposedly, who can reveal the majority of his portfolio, is now able to reveal a pretty significant percentage of his portfolio. And it just so happens to be a popular ETF on YouTube. Paul Gabriel, why are you shilling individual stocks and day trading if you're now moving towards ETFs? I don't understand what's going on here, small Gabriel. And haven't you shilled the S&P 500, which is a lot more reasonable than this, in my opinion? Haven't you shilled the S&P 500 the whole time your channel's been on? And instead of buying the S&P 500, no, because that doesn't have all dividend. Now we gotta buy SCHD. It went up a lot. It's got a dividend, bro. It's so easy, bro. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. All right, we're good. So let's go ahead and react to Paul Gabriel and why he bought SCHD.
Paul, if you've been watching our channel, we have a past video that we did talking about SCHD. Recently, I decided to change the way in which I'm handling my money. I've got a lot of business. I got about 1,000 apartments and growing. And we have this Everything Money community, YouTube, software, and channel. And I look at it going, okay, I want to focus on reinvesting every dollar back in the business. And for the most
Okay, so some backstory here. So Paul Gabriel is a spoiled rich kid, spoiled brat, clueless, spoiled degenerate. Has no idea what he's doing, doesn't live in the real world, basically just had everything handed to him. He basically took daddy's money and his family's money, and he invested it and lost huge sums of money by shorting NVIDIA, which has been one of the best performing stocks. Now, you can maybe miss a stock, okay? That's forgivable. But when you short with basically no hedge, a massive high-flying chip stock, you can wipe out your entire family's estate, your entire family's money. He lost his family probably millions of dollars being an incompetent clown. He's all about value investing, and then he shorts NVIDIA. You can't make this up. So now he's reformed. I'm a reformed man. I mean, I got to make my channel interesting for YouTube somehow, and I still got to somehow pretend that I'm mostly buying stocks, but I've got 100 properties here, and I've got this, and I've got that, blah, 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 blah. He's got to keep his channel interesting somehow, but now he's buying SCHD. So I can't wait to hear the reasons why this genius is doing that.
part we have. But recently I decided, okay, I like living under certain budgets and constraints. So I thought to myself, what's the best way for me to do this? Well, why don't I take a chunk of my money?
Yeah, you need a nanny to do a budget for you, degenerate, because you can't control anything in your life, child.
And set it aside and live purely off the interest and the dividends I receive, as well as options. So I went to my in-house analyst, Dalton. I said, Dalton, here's my plan.
He hasn't learned. He just said he wants to live off options. That's what he did with NVIDIA. Stop. He's learned nothing.
Put some ideas together. And he came back to me and said, Paul, why don't we just do SCHD? And I was like, oh, that's not a bad idea. And the reason I liked it so much was this. I don't want...
Wait, is he paying a guy to give him advice to buy SCHD? What's a popular dividend ETF? SCHD! Oh, you're so smart. How did you think of that one? I hope this guy's charging Paul an arm and a leg. I hope this guy's making millions off small Gabriel.
Not as much volatility. Now, this is SCHD from its inception versus the S&P 500 total return. And you might look at this saying, oh my God, it's a huge difference. Yeah, but when did that huge difference occur? During major bull markets. Here's where it starts. Here. This is where the big difference occurred.
No, I can see differences the whole time. Look at the chart. Look at the chart.
As these
You can see that it's been above Shah. I mean, this is a very specific point in time. But the concept of investing, if you're wealthy, you should focus on total return. Everybody should focus on total return. I don't understand this obsession with dividends. Oh, wait, I do. It's because people think they're making passive income. People think it's free money from the sky. Trust me, I know. I used to think that way too, and I was wrong. It ain't free money from the sky. Now, if you believe in past performance, indicates future performance, which I don't necessarily. But if you did, which one would you buy? Which one would you buy? Obviously, you'd buy SPY. Why? It's got a higher total return, number one, and it's got a lower dividend yield, which means you pay less taxes. But we'll get to that in a second, okay?
tech stocks started to skyrocket. In late 2021, when we had all the surges of EV stocks and all these things started to happen, at that time, FANG was really popular. So I thought to
We're now in 2024.
myself, all right, that's not bad, but I don't really need the growth. What I'm more worried about is how do I get dividend? Well, guess what? Dividend here is 3.41%.
No, you need total return. Total return. Growth, dividend. No, total return.
Okay, well, on top of that, you guys know me. I love selling covered calls. I can sell covered calls on SCHD, maybe make 1 to 3% a year. So I'll be able to generate 4.5% to 6.5% per year in cash from my account, assuming I buy at today's levels.
And you limit the upside. Oh, covered calls are just free money. It's just so easy, bro. Covered calls limit upside. They limit your total return, you dork. Unbelievable, dude.
You guys know me. I can get 5% from 90-day treasuries. I think the market's a little overpriced. So let's say I wait for a pullback and I'm able to get 5.5 to 7.5% cash return. That's a pretty solid way of living. Now, the reason I want you to hear this is a way that if you're older and have money set aside, but you haven't retired yet, this might be a good plan for you in the future to retire. And if you
No, do not go all in SCHD and do not do covered calls on SCHD.
you're younger, I do suggest that you invest in more aggressive methods of investing. Maybe SCHD is the right one for you, especially if you have it at 401k or a IRA of some sort, so you don't pay taxes every year on that income. It's a great way to generate cash flow for your accounts. Now, remember, I'm not as in love with dividends as everybody else is. I think dividends are a great way to get cash returns, but in
This guy is incredible. All right, let's keep going.
cases, they're not the best use of the company's cash. It is a double taxation. The company's taking their profit, pay tax on it, and they pay out that profit, you get taxed again. Also,
So he says, oh my God, dividends are not tax efficient. And he's in the highest tax bracket. Dividends are not tax efficient. And he's allocating his portfolio to companies that pay higher dividends. He can defer taxes by selling stocks that tend to not pay as many dividends far into the future. Would you rather pay taxes now or pay taxes later? I'd rather pay taxes later, to be perfectly honest. Time value of money. But of course, he goes in and pays the most taxes he possibly can. Does this make any sense whatsoever? No, it doesn't, but it doesn't matter because it's YouTube.
so if the company has a lot of growth potential to reinvest in, why are they paying a dividend out? I'd rather have them do other things with the money, like buy back cheap shares, make other investments, maybe pay down some debt. But people love dividends. And SCHD focuses
And apparently you do too now.
on good dividend paying companies. Let me show you some of these companies. This is the top 25 holdings for SCHD. Lockheed Martin, AbbVie, Coca-Cola, BlackRock, Home Depot, Bristol-Myers, Cisco, Amgen. Guys, all these companies you know. These are great companies. And the best part is, which one of these are hype companies?
If you invest in SCHD, you are massively overweighting companies that are randomly selected because of dividends. I mean, they have their methodology, obviously. You're massively overweighting the companies relative to their market caps, okay? That's more degenerate than you might think. And you're excluding a bunch of other great companies because they don't pay a dividend.
None of them. 0 of them are hype companies. And that's what I love. Now remember,
Oh, I like boring companies. I'm smart. Hype companies are dumb, even though hype companies could potentially be, massive outperformers because they have a lot of growth behind them and good future prospects. I don't like that. No, I only buy dividend stocks.
you have to be okay trailing the market for a portion of your money. Because your goal here, and my goal in this, is to generate cash to live off of. It's not to become a billionaire. To sit there and say, I'm setting aside 25% of my net worth. I'm letting my real estate grow. I'm letting my businesses grow. And I'm just going to focus on living off this money. Now, as I get distributions from my company, et cetera, because we have excess cash, I can put that in this account and start growing that income even more. And that really is my ultimate goal. It's 25% of my net worth. But guys, I'm not going to lie, I'm a big spender.
Well, I mean, part of living, living off money is making it last as long as possible. So if you knew something would potentially have greater total returns, I'd rather buy the thing that has bigger total returns than the thing that has more dividends. Because you're trying to make your money last as long as possible. Oh, you know what? Why don't you buy Yield Max, okay? Because you want income. You want income. It makes no sense. Just total returns.
Now, I like taking nice trips. I like investing in, well, I guess you say investing is not really spending money, but
spoiled brat, didn't earn anything, and it was given everything in his freaking life. Oh, I like nice trips. I like to spend my money, yes, because I earned it all. Shorting Nvidia and destroying my family's wealth. Better than you. I'm better than you.
I live a good life in terms of my spending, so I gotta make sure it'll be a good way for me to sit there and say, how do I make this 25% last forever so my other 75% can keep growing and growing and growing, and over time, that 75% of my money becomes 95% of my money. Now, again, I repeat, this is not for, I don't believe, in my personal opinion, that this is for somebody who's 18 or 19 years old. I personally believe this is for somebody that can, they want to generate tax-efficient way by taking the dividends and putting it in a 401k or an IRA. Or if you're already retired or going to retire soon, this may be a good way for you to think about it. Now, I want to clarify something here.
Now let's pile into Shah because you're about to retire.
If you're 18, 19 years old and young, the big key is, I don't mind, because look at this. Yeah, it trailed a little bit S&P going back, but essentially,
number one, that's irrelevant.
It only trailed significantly at very big market highs. But remember, everybody wants to beat the market. They get upset when they trail the market. Me personally, it doesn't bother me. If I own the companies I own, I like them. I know that over long.
You do want to beat the market. That's why you're buying individual stocks, and you set your discount rate lower than or higher than the return of the market because you want to beat the market. Why would you pick stocks if you're not trying to beat the market? That makes no sense. It's a complete waste of time. So obviously you want to beat the market, liar.
Long periods of time, I'm going to do well. What's my focus is, what are my goals? So you got to remember, in our software, we have a retirement calculator. Everyone who has that software, I highly
look at my calculator, bro. I got it. It's so hard to make. I can make this in like 10 minutes in Excel.
encourage you to use this very regularly. Until recently, I was the number one user of this software until I was dethroned by somebody I actually know personally. I love using retirement calculator. Here's a spoiler. I'm never going to retire, and I have more than I need today. So you might be wondering, why do you use retirement calculator? Well, it's a great reminder to focus on...
Well, if you're not going to retire, why are you focusing on... Just focus on total returns.
What matters to me in my life. The reason I'm doing this 25% SCHD was because I use retirement calculator so much. I sit there and say, guess what? I don't need any more. What matters most...
How does a retirement calculator make you pick an ETF? I don't understand that, okay? You don't know where SCHD is going to go. You pulled up the chart. You looked at the past total returns. You said, dividends, which you're paying the highest tax rate on for dividends, and you decided to buy it. You're such a freaking genius, Paul.
To me is just being able to hit my goals. I've got tons of real estate. I've got businesses that are growing. What does it matter if 25% of my net worth is sitting in a lower return potentially? But as long as I'm hitting my goals,
yeah, I'll just underperform for no reason. Yeah.
That's the kind of mentality I want you having. That is not the mentality I had until about 3 or 4 years ago. Before then, it was as much as possible at all times. No, you must do this because you got to. No, now it's like, well, I'm going to hit my goals.
Yeah, because you got your butt blown out.
I was recently asked by somebody, what's the one advice you'd give to somebody who's starting out? And I said to them, literally, I said, make sure you focus on your goals and be conservative about every assumption you make. Morgan Housel talks about this in The Psychology of Money. He says,
he's a degenerate, shorting this and shorting that. It's just out of control.
Assume you're going to live longer than you expect to live, and assume your returns are going to be worse than you expect. So the market does 9 or 10%. Put in 7.
Yeah, that's a good assumption for you, Paul.
7.5 or 8% in here. If your life expectancy is 80, put in 90, 95. These are the things to do because you want to make sure you're going to hit your goals. How this has worked out for me is, it allowed me to sit there and say, does it really matter if I have 10x what I thought I was going to have, 3x, 5x? No, at the end of the day, it's still more than I need. So what matters to me is living the high quality life I do now with less stress. And it makes me pickier on my investments. I've told my wife, I want to own 10 or 20 lake houses that we rent out. Now, somebody out there might be like, well, Paul, if you don't really care, what does it matter? I still like doing these things. I still like investing. I have an addiction to investing, especially in real estate. Okay. But why would I want 10 or 20 houses? Because it's a great way for us to vacation.
Do you really believe he's successful in real estate as he claims he is? If he's such an investment disaster when it comes to stocks, do you really think he's making good, rational decisions? I'll leave that for you to decide.
Make money along the way. Now, it also made me pickier on my investments. Now I'm a little more cautious going, listen, I'm going to have...
Top fund manager Acri finds that picky pays, especially these days. Oh, this is an ad for stock picking. It's active managers always say, hey, this is a very special time to be picky because they don't like indexes because they want to manage your money and charge you high fees. It's as simple as that, okay? Just be picky, bro.
Have the hassle. I want to make sure it's worth my time and money. So before, if I was in accumulation mode, I might be willing to do a deal for 12 or 13%. But now I look at it going, no, I need to make 16 or 18% for me to do a deal. That's all from Retirement Calculator. It allows me to know what my goals are and pick and choose what I'm going to do based on that. It allowed me to sit there and say, you know what, Paul? You're going to have more than you need. You already have more than you need. So hit the need, and then from there, everything's cream. And that's what I'm doing with my 25% of my net worth. I'm putting it in there to say
25% of his net worth.
Paul, hit your cream. Now, what does it need to do in order for me to be able to live the rest of my life this way? Basically, it's got to make 9 to 11% return for me to be able to live off that money the rest of my life. That's not.
I mean, it's possible, but I would plan for a lot lower. Did he not just say to expect to have lower returns? This guy can't stay with a single investment. He's a disaster. You think planning for 9 or 11% returns with this guy is reasonable? No, you need to plan for like negative 3% compounded annual returns. Then that's a reasonable assumption for your future wealth at the end of your life when you want to actually retire.
Very difficult. The difficult part's going to be volatility. Because as you guys see, if we have major market pullbacks, it falls along with the S&P. Doesn't fall as much, but it still falls along with it. And
past performance.
And if we have a long drawn out down cycle without me adding money, it can hurt. It absolutely can hurt. I'm still going to pull money every single month along the way. My dividends and options, and maybe a little principal at times when the market's down. Those are things to consider. But again,
he's going to trail SCHD selling calls on it. 100% he's going to freaking trail it. This is outrageous.
And I'm doing the same thing I'm advising for you. I put my assumptions in here, and
wait, you're advising that? What are you advising us to do, Paul?
Conservative about it. I'm so conservative that I did my numbers based on my 25% net worth, and it said the money would last me 14 years, assuming I made no extra money from capital growth, and assumed I never added money, and it assumed I had to pay the full taxes out on those dividends and options along the way, and assumed I never added money along the way. So I'm being conservative because there's no way that in 14 years I'm not going to add money to this. And it also assumes I'm increasing my spending by 6% per year. Now, that's a big jump. That's a really big jump. 6% per year. It should really be 3 or 4% a year. But again, I'm being conservative. So,
but here's the thing: he'll make a mistake, and he'll just get bailed out because he's freaking Richie Rich. Okay, you cannot listen to this guy. He does not understand anything about a real normal person trying to achieve retirement. This is not the way, bouncing between options and selling calls and Shah and buying this and selling this. He has no strategy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's incompetent. Pick a simple, easy strategy and stick to it your entire life. I've chosen my strategy. You can make fun of me all you want, but mine's very, very clear, very easy to understand, and I will outperform pretty much everybody that watches my channel in the long run because I stick to my strategy. This clown is freaking clueless. Absolutely clueless.
in actuality, this money could last the rest of my life just by changing this assumption to 3 or 4%. And adding just a little bit of money every single year to that account. And if I have real estate, it's going to write off a lot of the gains that I have in this account, or I want to pay tax on anyhow. That's the big key. So guys, no matter what age you are, especially if you're young, I really want you to know where you stand. I really want you to use this retirement calculator. We have a great offer right now, $7 for 7 days. We're changing a lot of things. It allows you to
But my calculator, bro. You can buy shit out like I did, bro. It's so easy, bro.
What an absolute freaking disaster. All right, let's do some comments. Oh, by the way, check out my grips in the comment below at the conclusion of this video. Sponsored video, $50. Stop being a broke loser. It's on Amazon, or I can tutor you for $75 an hour. I'll teach you accounting. Hi, what's up? This is one of Dan Weston's favorite ETFs. Uh-oh. Did you watch that last week about Paul and his wife? That was weird. Oh, I don't know if I want to go there. Dan Weston, the dollar store capital mindset. Bacon memes, the dollar store too. There goes the dollar store Keepstar. Oh, God. What the hell, Paul? Dude, she doesn't know what he's doing. He's clueless. After I lost millions of dollars for my family, the irresponsibility. Like, unbelievable. If my family gave me money, it's going to VT and maybe some SGov. That's it. Selling calls in a video. What a freaking clown.
But my goose, boo.
Oh, yeah. So he's basically on the path of, like, he'll be buying VT when he's like 80 years old. He'll finally figure it out. Let's see. Paul will be I'm telling you, that's exactly what I was saying. Paul, but he's so rich, he's always going to get bailed out. He can't fail. It's like Jeremy. He's always got his ad revenue. He'll never fail. It's the same thing. But you're not Paul. You're not Richie Rich. Yes, get him, baby. By my software, bro. That strongman can make it 30 minutes on his computer, bro. Paul hated on Dibs so hard. Dude, and it makes less sense for him to buy Shah than anybody else because he's in the highest tax bracket. He's such an idiot. How'd that Celsius stock? Remember arguing me at the bottom? What, dude, you fail to understand the troll. You think I bought Celsius stock? Let's see. Are there any new? There's a lot on backlog. I've been so busy recently. I'm just now like getting back into the YouTube groove. So I'll get around. I got a couple stories on backlog. Let's see. I wonder how Seth is getting on. Do you think he left because no, they had some kind of drama with him going on somebody's channel. Gabriel finally learned to just index his daddy's money. I know. No, it's his money. He earned it, bro. From all his great real estate deals. He's got so much of daddy's money, it doesn't matter. Man, I wish I could get daddy's money. You give me $500,000 right now. Woo! I wouldn't retire, but I don't know if I'd be at my full-time job anymore. And then I start selling in video calls. Why would you buy Shah if you have so much free cash flow? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, he's got all this cash flow from real estate. Why do you need Shah? I don't understand. The only stock you need to pick is... I'll think about it. Let's see.
There's a good... You only have 14,000 subs! And Paul has more subs than you! And Jeremy has more subs than you!
Shut your freaking mouth! So ignorant. God, you're like a child. Whoever has more subscribers is a better YouTuber and a better... Well, yeah, that is true. A better person! He's a better investor than you! Just inherit $10 million, bro. It's so easy. Just inherit money, bro. Why isn't everybody retired? Paul wants the U.S. economy to fail so bad just to say he was right. Pretty selfish. I mean, I want the S&P to suck for a little bit too, because a lot of these clowns need to be wiped out. I'm just saying. But I mean, if you hold the S&P at dollar cost average, you'll be fine. But if the S&P dropped 40%, all of these highly leveraged stock picking, large cap tech, Palantir clowns would be eviscerated. They'd be gone. Okay, we need a cleanse in this market. We need to cleanse the grifters. That last bear market was freaking lame. It didn't get rid of the grifters. But of course, bro. See, I provide so much more. You can, for $100, you can debate me live. Like, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. And then you can play WWE and get the video removed. Oh God. Let's see. Will you retire at Shah? No, I will not. Well, you know I will not. Do you go to Dollar General? I do not go to Dollar General. I go to Walmart or Food Lion. That bear market, I'm telling you, most of the grifters were like borderline done. We almost had them. Seriously. If we had a real vicious bear market, these guys would get annihilated. But of course, AI, my hot guy. You have more subs than Joshua. Who's that? Yeah, all that matters is your sub count. That's all that matters is your sub count. Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to make fun of Paul Gabriel. You guys have a wonderful night. Check out all the pinned comments below. Give me all your money. Make me rich while you stay poor. Buy crappy stocks. Crap on VT. And you have a wonderful night. Cheers.